In this video, we're going to take a look at this Neewer half cage for the Lumix S5II, S5IIX, and G9II. And I really like this half cage because it gives you pretty much all you need to rig out your camera without adding any extra bulk to the rig. Neewer did send me this cage for purposes of making some content with the Lumix S5IIX. They have no input in this video at all. All the thoughts in this are my own. And this is going to be my thoughts on using this cage in the real world. Let's go over all the features this cage gives you. First of all, the top gives us a ton of versatility because there's a built-in NATO rail, so we can use this for the Condor Blue SSD handle, or we can attach a monitor, another top handle to the top as well. This can also be done using the 3/8 screws or the 1/4-20 screws. There's also anti-rotation pins as well. Then on the side, we do get a cold shoe. This comes in handy for putting a microphone on and having the microphone out of the way of anything you're using your camera for. Then on the side, we also get another NATO rail, so we can add a left handle without having to thread it into the side. Or there's also a 3/8 inch screw and several 1/4-20 mounts on it as well. And then here we find the screw in the slot for using the HDMI clamp. On the bottom of the cage, we get several 3/8 inch slots as well as a couple 1/4-20 as well. So this is going to be easy to add any plate to the bottom of it that you want to use. But if you have an ARCA compatible camera, this does have an ARCA plate on the bottom. So this is going to be super handy for putting this directly on a ball head that already uses the ARCA system. We also get a strap slot on the right side and the top slot as well. Whenever you put this cage on, you want to thread the bottom on first, and then you just attach this strap button into the left side of the camera. This keeps it from being able to rotate. What I love about the way this cage works is we can quickly rig this out with several different accessories. So I like using the Condor Blue Pro Blade top handle because I can record directly to this SSD using the S5IIX, and it just slides on the top and locks in place. I do find there's just a little bit of play with this because this is a half cage and it doesn't wrap all the way around, but it's never felt like a concerning amount of movement. So we're able to quickly attach this top handle, plug it in, and now we're able to record directly to an SSD with a super sleek setup. You can also add a left side handle too on the NATO rail and just tighten it down. Then you have a really nice run and gun handheld rig. We can put a microphone on the left side as well, and we can even attach a monitor to the top of this handle or the top of this handle as well. My biggest complaint about this cage, unfortunately, is the way that the HDMI cable clamp works. The first complaint I have about it is it only clamps down the HDMI cable and not the USB-C jack. I really wish they had that on here. The next complaint I have about it is it uses a screw to attach it. That's just really annoying to actually have to unthread this screw all the way instead of using some sort of thumb screw instead. They do give you this tool that has both the flat and the hex side, and it just stores on the bottom of the cage, so you've always got that tool ready to go. But I just find it really annoying to actually unthread this all the way and put it back on the HDMI clamp. And you could technically leave the screw in the HDMI clamp, but then it could fall out. So I recommend storing it on the side of the cage when you're not using it. The next thing about the clamp that's kind of annoying is you actually do have to use the flat screwdriver as well to lock it in place. And I also find that it's not able to get as tight around some of the cables I want to use. So I've got this Condor Blue cable here that's really popular, but even after getting it fully tightened down, you can still actually unplug the HDMI cable. So this isn't going to fully lock the cable in, it's just going to do a good job at keeping it from wiggling out of place. So I do think this HDMI cable clamp is probably the weakest link with this whole cage setup, both because it's really annoying to set up, it doesn't clamp down the USB-C cable, and you also can still remove the HDMI cable even when it's locked in. And to me, that kind of defeats the purpose of even using it. I have one other complaint about the cage too. This strap button actually locks into the existing strap slot to keep it from being able to rotate on you. And then you do have a new strap slot just by using this on the top. But I wish that the actual strap anchor link was on the cage itself instead of being this little slot right here, because I do worry a little bit if this screw wasn't in all the way or if it came loose somehow, then you wouldn't actually be fully locked onto the cage and your strap would just be locked onto a removable piece. Aside from the cable clamp and the strap button, I really have no complaints about this cage. It's reinforced on the bottom and it does a great job at giving you the bare necessities that you need to have a built-in ARCA plate to be able to attach a top handle, a side handle, a monitor, and it doesn't get in the way of using any of the buttons on the right side of the camera. You can also easily remove your battery from the bottom as well. It is important to note this is a half cage, so there is going to be a little bit of play with the top, but overall I found that it feels plenty sturdy. There's no rotation at all with it on the camera once you get it locked down. And in my opinion, this is the best half cage for the S5IIX because it comes in at a really affordable price and it gives you everything that you need to have a minimal rig. If you want to use a rig that uses an HDMI cable clamp, you might just look elsewhere. If you have any other questions about this Neewer half cage, leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer them. Like this video, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming content. And if you're interested in buying a Neewer half cage, I do have links in the description below.